Hello, good day all. This is Nalini Kannan and I work for India Software Labs at IBM. I'm here to share some of my experiences in my journey as a neurodiversity enabler. Before I move on to my journey, a small history of how I got involved into this. A couple of years back, I was talking to a close friend of mine who lives in the US about his plans to return back to his motherland, that is India. At that time, he revealed about the special needs for his daughter who is autistic. And these needs are in different spheres of her life, daily life, right from the home, the neighborhood in which she grows up, the school, and the education system, the way she travels to her or commutes to her school, just to name a few. And he says that the systems in India are not yet mature enough for her needs. This was such an eye opener for me because I knew few other friends who have kids in similar situation, but most of their needs were taken care of at school. Little did I know that so many accommodations need to be made. And here we are only talking about the child. As he or she grows up and their mental maturity grows, they are going to expect different levels of accommodations as well. Incidentally, the same year, IBM Software Labs at India started Neurodiversity stream as a part of their Equal Council, which is their diversity and inclusion program. I was invited to be a co lead of that program, and in hindsight, I felt it was such a great opportunity for me to make a difference. As a part of that program, I had to work on two major streams. My charter was very clear. One was to bring in awareness by studying the current systems and put in a place or a mechanism which makes the system a happy place for neurodiverse individuals. The second, which is the success measure of the first one, is bringing in neurodiverse talent. While I was working on this initiative, I got to work with a lot of individuals and organizations who are known or stalwarts in these fields. To begin with, I started talking to a few parents who have neurodiverse kids. They told me about the kind of struggles the children go through and also the parent have to face in bringing up the children. While there are a lot of accommodations in the schooling system, we have a long way to go. There are still some gaps in the environment that need to be addressed. However, the positive aspect is knowingly or unknowingly, there are some provisions made in our system, and it is important that as parents they know about these accommodations or alternatives and use it in the best interest of their child. For example, many of the autistic children find it difficult to work with numbers. So, it is possible to get a waiver from mathematics as a paper. If the child is not that drastically difficult in coping up with mathematics, there is a basic version of mathematics which can be an alternative. So, there are some small changes made in the education system, but still, the exams and the entrance system is far from being conducive to neurodiverse candidates. If schooling and education is one area that needs a change, workforce is and the workplace is a bigger challenge. It not only involves making the team member comfortable, upskilling, and so on, it also means upskilling the team members to accommodate neurodiverse candidates. Every process that is currently designed for neurotypical individuals need to be relooked at and made suitable for neurodiverse workforce as well. So this could mean that the kind of course material or the kind of onboarding process that is currently designed for a neurotypical person needs to be re-evaluated for neurodiverse candidates. Without doing that, it could lead to frustration on both the employer as well as the employee, and the team dynamics could be upset. Similarly, as a part of this initiative, we had looked up the different roles and arrived at the roles that could be suitable for neurodiverse candidates. Once the roles were identified, we had reviewed their job descriptions and made sure that they are inviting enough for everybody to apply. For example, usage of superlative words in the job description might not attract such neurodiverse candidates from applying. Like to give some phrases which we commonly find in job descriptions: great team player, excellent communicator, wonderful at networking, and so on, are not typical traits that a neurodiverse candidate might exhibit. So it is important to use softer tones and emphasizing on most important skills that the job would require rather than focusing on others which can be acquired as a part of the person's upskilling at workforce. Similarly, many accommodations might be needed during the process of hiring. The person might require different kind of support during interviews. For example, when he or she attends the interview, the workplace might require softer lighting or soundproof rooms, just to name a few. To make sure that the interview process is smooth and optimal for the person to perform his best, we might have to ask some of these requirements upfront. So, which means that the job applicant process needs to be updated to consider or ask for some of these details. And this doesn't come easily. The person might not be comfortable in revealing some of his traits, in which case his privacy also needs to be respected. These are some of the accommodations that we learned that is required as a part of the hiring process. Once the person is onboarded, there are so many things that need to be changed in the current system because they are heavily focused on neurotypical employees. The way the annual appraisals are conducted, or the way a person's contributions are measured, or the way a person is rewarded, all these needs to consider that there is a population which is not typical and they have different levels of skills and different levels of soft skills. Accessibility at workplace is a growing concern. It is important that the workplace is suitable for neurodiverse population. I already spoke about the sound and the lighting requirements a person might need at the time of interviews. In some cases, a person might have all his settings, all his requirements well set at home. So it might be optimal for him to work from home where everything is taken care of. Such accommodations of remote working might help the candidate in work in performing his job function. Of course, this depends on the role that he is performing and might not be always possible to work from home or remote work. However, if it is possible and within the framework of the organization, they should make it possible or help the candidate to avail of such features. As technologists, accessibility of tools is a very important topic and it is becoming a growing concern as well. All of us interact with technology at some point or the other. We use laptops and gadgets heavily. We use applications very a lot. It is important that we design and build softwares with the population which is non typical. After all, 20% of the work of the population is neurodiverse, and that is what the statistics say. So, by building softwares which are not catering to that population, we are only reducing our target customer base. There could be people who are comfortable in using the video form of the software, whereas there could be others who might be interested or more comfortable in working with audio commands. The software needs to accommodate or give provision for either of these. There is a growing field called kinesthetics. Kinesthetics depends on one's body movements and their behaviors in their body motions. By studying the kinesthetics of a person, we could build profiles for the person which could be used to drive the user experience that he gets. So, these are some of the challenges that I am seeing as a part of the ecosystem. Every challenge presents opportunities. I am sure that if we make the best use of this opportunity, it would mean a great place for everybody to live and everybody to thrive. I am hopeful that summits like this will create that awareness and we will slowly make progress in our ecosystem. And I'm looking for the day when my friend makes that decision to come back to India. Thank you.